Yo, so have you ever had a big dream? Like super big, like reach the heavens big. Well, that's exactly what the people at Babel thought they could do. Build a tower to heaven. Spoiler. They really should have rethought that plan, because it was a disaster. Alright, picture this. You've got a whole bunch of people working together, speaking the same language, no communication problems, right? You'd think that would be enough for a solid construction project. So they decide, let's build a tower so tall it reaches the sky. Why? Because why not? You've got the manpower, the materials, and absolutely no concept of how much work this is going to be. And of course, they get halfway through and say, let's make a name for ourselves. Yep, they're setting themselves up for failure already. Now here's where it gets hilarious. The people at Babel, they're so pumped, they're working like mad, thinking they're gonna literally reach heaven. And just as they're about to smash their goal, God's up in the clouds like, oh, this is cute, but nah, I'm not letting this slide. So God looks down and is like, okay, so these guys are way too confident for their own good. I'm about to do something that'll mess up their entire plan. And what does he do? He decides to confuse their languages. Yep, that's right. He makes them all speak different languages. Now imagine trying to build a tower when half of your crew is suddenly speaking Swahili and the other half is speaking Mandarin. Not great for productivity, am I right? Now this is where the real chaos starts. Imagine you've got 50 people all working together and suddenly they can't talk to each other. There's that one dude trying to tell the other guy, hey, move the brick. And the other guy's like, what? I don't even know what you're saying. And instead of teamwork, it's just straight up confusion. It's a total meltdown, a global one, if you will. No one can understand each other, so guess what happens next? They just quit. Towers abandoned. Game over. And here's the thing, God didn't even need to send a storm or fire or anything dramatic. All he did was mess with their communication. Literally made them speak different languages, and poof, the whole tower project collapses. These guys went from we're gonna reach the heavens to, what did we even just do now? In a matter of minutes. So, lesson learned, maybe don't try to build your way into heaven unless you have a really good blueprint. And maybe stick to speaking the same language as your coworkers. It helps. At the end of the day, the Tower of Babel isn't just a building project fail. It's a lesson in humility. When you get too big for your britches, things tend to come crashing down. And that's how humanity gets spread across the world, speaking different languages. So we move on to our next story. This one's going to hit you with power, betrayal, and one of the most unbelievable twists in Bible history. Yeah. Because it's the story of the strongest man in the Bible versus the most deceitful woman in the Bible. Meet Samson, the strongest man on earth, and the woman who took him down, Delilah. This is wild, y'all. All right, let me set this up for you. Samson's birth is a total miracle. His mom couldn't have kids, and then an angel comes down, tells her she's going to have a son, and that he's going to be a Nazarite, set apart for God. The thing with Nazarites, they're supposed to live by certain vows. No drinking, no cutting hair, and no touching dead bodies. So Samson grows up and is literally the most powerful guy on the planet. God gave him strength and it's insane. I mean, we're talking about a guy who once killed a lion with his bare hands. A lion! Samson's strength was legendary. He was a one-man army. Dude rips gates off a city wall, carries them to the top of the mountain, and tosses them like they're toys. He single-handedly took down 1,000 Philistine soldiers with the jawbone of a donkey. 1,000. That's like taking on an entire army with a bone. No big deal. But with all that power comes some serious flaws. You see, Samson's biggest problem? Women. Especially one particular woman. Delilah. Delilah's got her own thing going on. The Philistines approach her and offer her a massive amount of money, 1,100 pieces of silver, if she can find out the secret to Samson's strength. And this is where things go downhill. Samson, being in love, doesn't suspect a thing. He starts giving Delilah these half-truths about where his strength comes from. Like, if you tie me up with 7 fresh bowstrings, I'll be weak. But every time she tries it, it doesn't work. He breaks free like a superhero. Nothing works. But then Delilah wears him down. She starts crying, acting all hurt, asking, "Why don't you love me? Why you gotta hurt me like this, Samson?" And Samson, being the classic guy he is, finally gives in and tells her the truth. His strength is in his hair. If his hair is cut, he'll lose all of it. So Delilah, the total traitor, waits until Samson is asleep, calls for someone to come in, cuts off his hair, and boom, she's got him. Samson wakes up thinking everything's cool. He gets up, tries to fight, and boom, nothing. He's weak. The Philistines capture him, gouge out his eyes, and throw him in prison. Just like that, his strength is gone. But this isn't the end of the story. After being humiliated and imprisoned, Samson's hair begins to grow back. One day, the Philistines throw a big party to celebrate his capture. They bring him out for entertainment, mocking him. But Samson prays to God, asking for his strength to return just one last time. And God answers. Samson pushes apart the pillars of the temple, causing it to collapse. He kills more Philistines in his death than he did in his entire life. The hero dies as a hero. It's a tragic ending, but it's a comeback story for the ages. So, here's the lesson, folks. Samson had all the power in the world, but he let his weaknesses, his pride, his lust, take him down. We all have our strengths, but if we don't watch out for our vulnerabilities, we can end up making decisions that cost us everything. Samson shows us that no matter how strong you are, you need wisdom and self-control to handle it. Don't let your weaknesses bring you down. Let me know what you think about Samson's epic story in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. My name is Nero, and hope to see you on the next video. Later, y'all. Calling hearts together near. Where the river meets the sky.